Hey guys, welcome back as always. My name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be quickly touching on the Echoes of Duviri community quality of life improvements and changes. This is a forum post from 30 minutes ago, and these are some rather interesting and exciting changes. First things first, you know the brand new Incarnon Genesis adapters that we were supposed to get? We will be getting them starting next week. I'm talking about the Boar, Gammacore, Angstrom, Gorgon, and Dianku. Yes, a full new rotation, my friends. Isn't that fantastic? This rotation will start July 30th and is going to be the brand new second rotation, since it's going to be slotting between the first and the second one. These Incarnon Genesis adapters will also be acquirable with Plat, because Cavalero will have a new section called Incarnon Market, and you're going to be able to purchase these adapters with Plat as well. They didn't say for how much, however, but it will be going live on July the 30th, but as per usual, you can farm them. So here's the situation. Let's say you farm 2 in the first week, but you're impatient, you want all of them yesterday, you can buy the rest of them with Plat. That's just an example. If you don't want to spend any Plat, of course, this rotation will come back around. It's gonna be a 7-week rotation now instead of a 6-week rotation. So if you miss something that you really wanted to, you're looking at waiting 7 weeks, which is definitely not something fantastic, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So that's the big news regarding the brand new Incarnon Genesis adapters. Here Pablo talks a lot, about 5 minutes, about brand new damage numbers, which are old damage numbers, but now they're going to be showing in a more ergonomic way. I recommend you watch Pablo's vid because he goes into detail and explains better than anybody else can, since, well, he was behind the whole changes and all whatnot. You're finally going to be able to have huge damage numbers, is what you always wanted. More importantly than that, however, they're also going to be introducing what they talked about last time. We're talking about Overguard Gating. It's gonna be 0.5 seconds, so it's not something overly fantastic, but at the end of the day, it is a way to damage mitigate. So if you're interested in Overguard Gating, there you go, you have this section right here. What got me the most excited, however, is the status changes. Check this out. We're gonna go through Puncture, Impact, and Cold, starting off with the Weakened status effect. This was the status effect of the Puncture proc. I'm assuming most of you guys didn't even know about this one, and honestly, I don't really blame you, because up until this point, it was kinda, it's nice that it's there, but we don't really need it. Increase the debuff to enemy attacks from 30% to 40% on the first attack, essentially the first proc, the first debuff, which is huge. Reduce the maximum amount of stacks from 10 to 5, but increase the per stack debuff from 5% to 10%. Essentially what they did with this, and you see they did the same thing with cold status effects as well and with impact status effects as well, is the fact that it's going to be easier to stack faster. You get how this one works. You don't need to go to 10 stacks anymore, you get the 5, you get the full benefit. Increase the total debuff at max stacks from 75 to 80%, so it's even a larger benefit. That's not the big news, however. This is Weakened status effect additions. Increases critical chance threshold on enemy by 5% per stack to a maximum of 25% at 5 stacks. This is an additive after mods, not before. One more time. Additive after mods, not before, does not apply to abilities or area of effect damage. This means that a weapon with no critical chance whatsoever is going to be able to crit on a target as long as that target's got some puncture procs on it. How often will depend on how many procs. It's going to be capping out at 25. That means that the puncture status effect is not borderline useless. It wasn't completely useless, granted, but still borderline useless. Next up, we're going to go to Impact. I load this one. Stagger status effect changes. It reduces the maximum amount of stacks from 10 to 5. Increases the mercy threshold from 4% to 8% per stack. Again, it's the same idea as here. Easier to stack up faster. You're going to be able to execute your targets faster. Anybody here actually mercy kills? Next up, cold changes. Free status effect changes. Increases the maximum amount of stacks from 8 to 9. Increases the additional per stack slow to 5%. Increases the maximum slow effect from 75% to 90%. While we previously mentioned buffing cold slow effect to 85% in our Citrin's Last Wish update, we mistakenly only increased it to 75% instead. I'll be completely honest, I didn't even know that was a thing, but that's not important. What is more important than that, free status effect additions. Increases the critical damage taken by an enemy by 10% on initial status effects. Subsequent attacks increases this debuff by 5% to a maximum of 50%. This, once again, just like the crit buff, additive after mods, not before. So my friends, if your weapon has 0% chance to crit, and it deals puncture damage and cold damage, it's gonna be able to crit against it, and it's gonna be able to have some nice critical damage against it as well. You're looking at 50% straight from the frost status effects when it's stacked all the way to 9. That is pretty significant. So let's make a long story very short. Impact, but puncture and cold getting you critical chance and critical damage on your targets. That means a critical weapon now can be not a critical weapon. You get yourself 25% from the puncture procs, you get yourself another 45% from Avenger, boom, you're up to 70% Hunter munitions viable. This will make a whole lot of weapons viable, and this will make a whole lot of builds that were not viable before, viable now. Even though I still wish the reign of Hunter munitions would bloody end already. Please, D, it's been 40 years. Please, can we get something else? What, no? Okay, that's fine. And that's pretty much it. I'm gonna leave you a link to this article in the description down below. There's more stuff to read if you want to, but that's the general gist of it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. For my 2 cents, these are fantastic changes, and I cannot wait to play the update. As always, my name has been Leyzar, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.